We come from and live on land considered sacred by indigenous people known as Bannock, Paiute, Shoshone, and many other tribes that lived here sustainably for thousands of years. We strive to understand and reframe our responsibilities to land, to community. In the spirit of respectful reciprocity, we honor the original caretakers of this place. We affirm the relationships we have to each other, including our relations to animals and insects that inhabit the water, land, and sky. We recognize the relationship, the responsibility to quiet creeks, rushing rivers, rustling grasses, to sprawling forests, to the brilliant palettes of the sky, to the roots that grip the soil, to the earth beneath our feet. Water is life. To all of us affected by the boarding school revelations, may we be granted compassionate understanding. May we find healing in the harm that lives in our history. We honor and support the right to sovereignty for our indigenous neighbors. We acknowledge that a land acknowledgement is not enough. Now, let us breathe together. Let us take a moment to enjoy the delicious air, the oxygen provided by tree. Hold to the warm light of sun. Consider the solidity, the groundedness of earth. Flow with refreshing, life-giving water. Let the mud settle. Find clarity of mind and spirit. Welcome our ancestors. Enjoy this present moment together.
Good morning. What a beautiful sea of faces. We are so full this morning. It's remarkable. Welcome, everyone. It's so good to have you. Welcome to the Boise Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. I'm the Reverend Sarah Lawal. It is my great honor to serve this beloved community as your minister. I'm joined this morning by Rachel Murphy, who is serving as our celebrant, and we have some special guests this morning, which I assume is the reason why we're so full. And you can just say, no, Reverend Sarah, we come every Sunday, without fail, right? I'm teasing you. You know, you don't need to confess to me when you don't come to church. We don't do that here. We are a community gathered to nurture spiritual growth, real connection, and faithful action for a better world. All who join us in the spirit of curiosity, love, and justice are welcome this morning. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here, and your presence is a blessing. We want to take a moment to welcome those who are joining us virtually. We are so glad to know that you are there and part of this community. I invite us all to turn around and wave at the cameras to say hello. Thank you for reminding us that we worship as one community beyond the walls of this sanctuary. We know it takes a lot of courage to cross the threshold of a new community, and so we want to take a moment to welcome newcomers among us. We're so glad that you've chosen us this morning. We invite you to introduce yourselves in the chat and to us after the service so that we can get to know you and welcome you, and to fill out a newcomer form. Those forms are located in the entryways, and we'll post a link in the chat so that we can keep you connected with all that is happening in our fellowship and all the ways that you can get engaged and meet people and get connected. I have a few announcements that I want to share for the whole community. First, you know this, but you're going to hear me talk about it nonstop for the next several weeks, because you all know that I am like a big fan of our auction, and it's coming, everyone. Our auction is coming. It will be a virtual auction just like it's been the last several years, and bidding goes live on February 24th, so there's lots of time for you to log in and get it on your phone and on your computers. And each Sunday, starting today, we're gonna feature some of the items that are up for bid in our auction, both photographs and live and in person. So here we have a beautiful needlework print, a table runner, and some placemats. All of these items are from different parts of the world, donated to us by members of our community here. And you can come up and take a closer look here, and then you can also go talk to our auction folks who have a table in our hospitality room. So get ready. Roger Sherman and I were talking last night. The bidding war is on. There's some amazing things. You see, I get really excited about this stuff, right? So you'll get to hear more about it and learn more how you can connect with our auction. But I want to thank our team that's been hard at work in putting all of this together and creating all of this excitement and enthusiasm for all of us. Next Saturday, we are hosting, in partnership with local community partners, a free training on Refugee 101, learning about the refugee system here in our community and how it works and who is coming right now and who needs our support and welcome. So if you would like to sign up for that, you can do so in the hospitality room right after the service today. You can talk to leaders of our Refugee and Immigrant Justice Ministry team. Leaders, would you raise your hand so that we can see where you are? Right here, Diana, over here, back there. They'll be milling about in the hospitality room. And they want to remind you that you are welcome to join this ministry team. They'd be delighted to have your presence, and that they meet monthly, typically at a restaurant, at an establishment that's owned by refugees or new Americans in our community, to share that experience together and knit us all together. So look for those opportunities to join them every month. And for our newcomers, our Inquirer series, our series for newcomers, continues this week with Membership 101, and we'll gather in the North Wing down at the end of that hallway after the service, and on Zoom, a hybrid option. So we're delighted to share with you more about who we are as Unitarian Universalists and as a fellowship here in the Treasure Valley. Each month, we donate 25% of our unpledged plate offering to a plate partner, a local organization whose justice ministry aligns with our own. And this month, our plate partner are the good folks at Catch. They are working to end homelessness in the Treasure Valley with wraparound services and rapid rehousing using a housing first model. And they are some of the most dedicated, amazing people whose programs continue to keep expanding to reach the population that is experiencing homelessness in our community. And we're delighted to be their partners. There are many ways that you can make a gift to support the ministries of this fellowship and the ministry of our plate partner. You can go right online to our website and make a gift. You can use the app on your smartphone, or you can do it the good old-fashioned way, and we have drop boxes inside each doors for your checks and cash and with sealed envelopes. However you choose to give, we are very grateful for your generosity, for the way that you fund our faith inside and beyond our walls. Our spiritual theme for this month of January is finding our center. And today's service explores how our justice work and service are important facets of finding that center inside of ourselves. This service was envisioned by our Refugee and Immigrant Justice Ministry team, and we are delighted to welcome Salome Mwangi, along with the Women's Choir and Children's Choir from the Swahili Fellowship that worships at Collister United Methodist Church, as our special guests this morning. Thank you so much for being here. I want to tell you a little bit about Salome before she gives her sermon later in the service. Many of you, I know, have heard her in all of the ways that she is sharing her story and speaking around town. She is a Boise-based speaker and cultural broker. I really love that term. She is an accomplished trainer in matters pertaining to storytelling and living life with cross-cultural relevance. She has been a guest with us before a number of times, and for a while there I was sort of following her speaking engagements around town because I really just enjoyed listening to her and her stories. She directs the Idaho Office of Refugees Refugee Speakers Bureau, which helps refugees and new Americans share their own stories in our larger community. She's called Boise, Idaho home since relocating here probably more than 18 years ago now. I pulled this bio off the web. Via the Refugee Resettlement Program from Nairobi, Kenya. She has a professional background in banking, finance, and IT, which she gained while working in Kenya. Salome has become a cultural broker, realizing that the culture behind each language bears weight in living life with cross-cultural relevance. And that feels like important relevance for who we aspire to be as Unitarian Universalists, reaching out beyond our walls and beyond our borders to welcome one another as a larger human family. Our work to welcome and support and advocate for refugees and new Americans who make up a vibrant part of our community is deeply faithful work. It helps us connect us to our own center and to those values that we hold most dear. All are invited to join us in our hospitality space after the service, where we have some special treats and you can talk to and meet our guests and celebrate the joy that is our wider community. As we enter into this time of worship together, I invite us all to take a breath together. Fill your body with breath. Allow yourself to be fully present in this sacred space, in this sanctuary, this space of refuge and welcome, of home and community. Breathe, knowing that your breath connects you to one another, to your body, and to our planet. Tune in to that spiritual center and listen deeply to your heart's own longing. Thou art the song of my heart in the morning. Thou art the dawn of truth in my soul. Thou art the dew of the roses adorning. Thou art the woven whole. Thine is the grace to be steadfast in danger. Thine is the peace that none can destroy. Thine is the face of the need-driven stranger. Thine are the wings of joy. Thou art the deep, to the deep in me calling. Thou art a lamp where my feet shall tread. Thy way is steep past the peril of falling. Thou art my daily bread. Thine be the praise of my spirit uplifted. Thou art the sea to each flowing stream. Thine be the days that are gathered and sifted. Thou art the deathless dream. Delighted to welcome our Congolese Women's Choir revival. Yes? All right.
Hallelujah. I don't know if you guys can hear me back here as they come in front.
Go right on up to the stage.
I just want to say thank you guys. Thank you so much for having us. Um, we're so happy to be here, blessed to be here. Keep going that side. Yeah. So my name is Daniel. I am the vice president of the Revival Choir. Ornella, she can raise her hand. She's the president of our choir. And we wanted to worship with you guys today.
David, can I ask you to be in that pulpit so that our folks online can hear you too? Yeah. In the microphone. Thank you. Start again.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, my name is Daniel. Thank you guys for having us today. This is our choir. We have the children choir back there also. We have our pastor, Pastor Gaturtur right there. We have our one of the deacon over there. His name is Sam. He's in the back also. He can raise his hand. And we're just so blessed to be here to worship with y'all. Like I said, there's our pastor, another pastor over there. He just walked in. Yeah, you guys are beautiful. Thank you guys for having us. We wanted to worship with you guys today. The pastor told us to sing a choir song, but I felt like we should worship with you guys. Just open the service, especially how they gave us the first. So we're the first song, so you guys get ready. And I just wanted to thank God on my behalf. Last Thursday, I got the best gift that I've ever had. My wife gave birth, first child. And I remember being in the labor room and just telling God that I would thank God once she gives birth safe and get back home safe. And I just wanted to take that time to just give God all the glory. So thank you guys. Feel free to stand up, feel free to sit down, feel free to just put yourself in a place of just being in front of God and worship Him in any way you want. We're gonna sing maybe 2 short choruses and pray with you guys. And yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
umetuwezesha sisi sote tumefika hapa. Hiyo ni shukurani kubwa kwako Bwana wetu Yesu. Asante, tunakuja kuona wandugu katika kiroho, bali tunaomba mahubiri ya leo na nyimbo za leo ziwe faida ndani ya mioyo yetu, zitubadilishe katika imani. Tunakuomba kwa kuwa wewe ni Mungu ambao umetuokoa wakati hatukutoa kitu, lakini uliona ni vema utuokoe. Sasa sisi tuko hapa, tuko mbele zako. Tunakuomba wewe Baba utuongoze katika muda huu, katika mchana wa leo, huu mchana mpya kwetu, bali sisi sote tuwe na imani katika muda huu. Vyote tunavikabidhi katika mikono yako, katika jina lako Bwana wetu Yesu Kristo mwokozi wetu. Amen.
I'm buzzing. Thank you so much. Whew. We are now going to light our flaming chalice. It's already been lit in our souls, I think. Each week we light our flaming chalice, which is a symbol of our free faith. It is a beacon of hope, love, and justice. We join in this lighting with thousands of other Unitarian, Universalists, and many other faiths, I am sure, who are lighting chalices today in their churches, homes, and virtual worship spaces. This reminds us that we are connected to one another and to a larger community of faith and love. Today, we have a young chalice lighter with us. We often invite a young chalice lighter, a young person to light the chalice. Thank you, come on up. To recognize the children and youth in our community, our responsibility to them, and the future that we are building together. Today, we have Jasper now, and we were delinquent in getting
Flame is lit in our souls, Rachel.
okay, it already was lit in our souls. And I say we, and I really mean me, because that was my responsibility. Okay. As Jasper lights the chalice here in the sanctuary, I invite those of you who are out there on Zoom to light a chalice with us this morning. And then you can share in the chat where you have lit your chalice. And Jem is going to reintroduce, even though he's not a first-time chalice lighter, he's a first-time post-pandemic chalice lighter.
This is Jasper Now, son of Amber and James Now. If you would like to come up and say hello after the service, a little bit about Jasper. He loves video games and laser tag, and he is patient with me when I accidentally call his dog Duke when his cool dog's name is King. Come talk to Jasper about all these things after the service. Thank you, Jasper.
With our chalice lit here and at home for you, we now offer you this call to worship. This is from Alberto Rios. We are of a tribe. We plant seeds in the ground and dreams in the sky, hoping that someday the roots of one will meet the upstretched limbs of the other. It has not happened yet. We are the sky, all of us, the whole world. Together, we are a tribe of eyes that look upward, even as we stand on uncertain ground. The earth beneath us moves, quiet and wild, its boundaries shifting, its muscles wavering. The dream of sky is indifferent to all this, impervious to borders, fences, reservations. The sky is our common home, the place we all live. There we are in the world together. The dream of sky requires no passport. Blue will not be fenced. Blue will not be a crime. Look up. Stay a while. Let your breathing slow. Know that you always have a home here. Come, let us worship together, knowing that we, each of us, always has a home here. And we're going to start our worship with our time for all ages. We invite our children to come on up. Jem is going to show you where. You are welcome to come up and sit together if you would like to. All who consider themselves children of years or in heart are welcome to come on up and sit here. We're going to have our time for all ages on video today, and this is Freedom We Sing.
Good morning. I hope you'll join me in getting cozy for our time for all ages. Our story today is Freedom We Sing by Amira Leon and illustrator Molly Mendoza. It's going to help us explore our sixth principle, our belief that we need to work for a world community with peace and love. It's going to help us by exploring and diving a bit deeper into what freedom means. Let's listen. Families of stars surround me, every constellation humming a different melody. Sometimes the world seems so small. I pretend to put it in my palm. I dance with her till night falls and the moon comes swaying in, giving the sun time to rise on all the other kin. Inhale, exhale. Mama tells me there are children with hearts like mine, beat, beat, beating in their chests, with different skin colors, hair, languages, and interests. They learn to walk and talk and dance and scream just like me or anybody. Inhale, exhale. Mama tells me there are mothers with hearts like ours, beat, beat, beating in their chests, running from war with whatever is left, doing everything they can to protect their children and their breath. Inhale, exhale. I wonder what freedom is. Is it a place? Is it a thought? Can it be stolen? Can it be bought? Does freedom run through our veins? Can it be equal and maintained? Do I have it? Do I not? Can it be written, Can it be taught? Inhale. Exhale. Mama tells me breath is freedom, a sweet release, the right to be, a universal sign of life and peace. The sky is our equality. It unites us with the world and our ancestry. Inhale. Exhale. Breath is what makes us alive. It is a chance to swallow the sky. Breath is a reminder that history is everywhere. We are the answer to our ancestors' prayers. May we dance into the sunrise. May we believe in our dreams. Inhale. Exhale. Freedom is you. Freedom is me. We are free. We are free. In the spirit of centering our faith in the issues that matter to us, matter to our world, matter to now, I invite our children and youth to join me in their religious exploration classes. Children 5 years old to 5th grade, heading down this hall. Youth, don't panic. If you are in 6th grade through 12th grade, you are also heading down this hallway. Everybody that way. We are going to have a special principles workshop as we explore centering our faith and principles to what matters most in our lives. Here we go. Let's go. Children and youth, this way.
May your mind be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your heart know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace.
Our reading today is from the book Dreaming the Dark by Starhawk, who is a veteran of progressive movements, deeply committed to bringing the techniques and creative power of spirituality to political activism. Community means strength. We are all longing to go home, to some place we have never been, a place half remembered and half envisioned. We can only catch glimpses of from time to time. Community. Somewhere there are people to whom we can speak with passion without having the words catch in our throats. Somewhere a circle of hands will open to receive us. Eyes will light up as we enter. Voices will celebrate with us whenever we come into our own power. Community means strength that joins our strength to do the work that needs to be done. Arms to hold us when we falter. A circle of healing, a circle of friends. some place where we can be free. And I now invite up the next portion of our musical guests. This is the Children's All for One Choir, also from the same fellowship as we heard the women's choir. So I welcome you to come on up and bring us your voices, and we thank you. in building a community of strength that embraces justice and also creates spaces for wholeness and healing, in the expanding of our circle of love and welcome to celebrate the joy, beauty, and diversity of our larger community, we remember to also make space to tend to one another, to share our joys and sorrows, celebrations and milestones, to remind one another that we are all on this journey of life together. And in our sharing, we lift that burden for each other and receive the blessing of this community. As we begin to share our joys and sorrows today, we want to hold in our hearts Diana Barrero Lowe and her family as they grieve the sudden death of Diana's grandson, Kieran, who was only 32. We send you our love and our prayers. And together with the Buddhist UU ministry, we recognize the 1-year anniversary of the death of Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh. We celebrate his life, his teachings, and his continuation when we breathe, walk, and smile in mindfulness. And we want to celebrate with David Endicott and Leanne McDonnell, whose daughter, Shale, after dedicated work learning to manage her health issues, has started university toward her library and information technology diploma. Congratulations. And if you are holding someone in your heart this morning, I invite you now to speak their name aloud into this community, into your home, that we may hold them with you. May the arms of this community hold all our joys and sorrows, those that you have named and those that remain close in our hearts. May we feel the grace that surrounds us and be transformed by the spirit of life and love, with warmth to celebrate our joys and gentleness to soothe our aching hearts. Breathe with me for a moment. Fill your body with your breath. Breathe into this sacred space. Breathe with this beloved community filled with loving kindness. Breathe with wholeheartedness, and for a moment, listen to what is calling you in the silence. And we will now share the joy of hearing from our own booth choir.
Good morning. While the choir's coming up, just wanted to say I've had the privilege of teaching school here in our community at Taft and Jefferson, and working with some of our refugee students. And it's been a blessing to get to know these beautiful young people from many parts of the world, from homelands in Africa, the Middle East, Asia. And the songs that our choir is singing today pay homage to those refugees coming from south of our border. And since we're singing in both Spanish and English, and we're masked, it might help you to know what we're singing. So, cuando el pobre when the poor ones who have nothing still are giving, when the thirsty pass the cup, water to share, when the wounded offer others strength and healing, we see God here by our side, walking our way. When compassion give the suffering consolation, when expecting brings to birth hope that was lost, when we choose love, not the hatred all around us, we see God here by our side, walking our way. When our spirits like a chalice brim with gladness, when our voices full and clear ring out in song, when our longings free from envy seek the humble, we see God here by our side, walking our way.
Hermano Good morning. I'll remove my mask so that you can see what I look like. I feel like we've lost the art of knowing who we all are because we've had to operate with our masks. And what a relief it is to be amongst all of you, to be together. I was listening to the different choirs and I just realized life is a choir. It takes the different voices. I could be a soprano, but if all I'm doing is singing soprano, you're missing out on the alto and the bass and the baritone and all the others in between. So thank you for the gift of music in different languages. As I sat here, I thought, this gives meaning to the old hymn, "Oh, for 1,000 tongues to sing," doesn't it? So as you heard, my name is Salome Mwangi. I was born and raised in Kenya. And we moved here more than 18 years ago. I know it's a long time because when we came, my daughter was 8 months old. And now she's almost 19. And she thinks she knows it all. I keep hearing, "Mom, you don't know." And I'm waiting for that to flip to, "Mom, what do you think of?" I hear that moment comes. I'm yet to experience it. But thank you so much, Reverend Sarah, Diana, Kathy. I don't know where Kathy is. Oh, there you are. For putting this together, for the invitation, and for allowing us to show up here just as we are with our voices and with our different languages. I cannot tell you what it does to you when you hear your language being spoken in a strange land. It's almost like an open invitation to just come, and it is. So when we first moved here, we came here, my ex-husband was from Ethiopia, and that's how we came to the US as refugees. And we were taken to New Hampshire. The people were as cold as the weather. They really were. And in 20 days, we fled. In order to communicate, that was before cell phones were as common as they are today. I had to cross the street and go to a Dunkin' Donuts place and put coins and call my sister, who was a student at Boise State at the time. And she would tell me, "It's not supposed to be that difficult. I know people who work with refugees, and it's not supposed to be that hard." So she talked to those people that she knew, and they told her, "If your sister and her family can find their way to Boise, we will help them." So we didn't have the money. So my sister, who was here, was planning to come and visit us, so she sent that money, and we bought air tickets, and we flew from Manchester, New Hampshire, into Boise. Now imagine traveling with a TSA without a photo ID. Oh my goodness. It was horrible. They would strip down my baby down to her diapers, and I'm thinking, I don't even know what you're looking for. But this is what was interesting, that as we flew from the east to the Pacific Northwest, it seemed like the sun wasn't setting. Baltimore, and then Minnesota, and the sun was still up. And then finally, when we got to Boise, it's as if God said, "This is the place, and now the sun can set." At the airport, there was my sister and her friends and people from World Relief, which was the agency that received us when we moved here. And it was night and day between the reception that we had in New Hampshire and the reception that we had here. And it was almost like that confirmation within your spirit, this is where you're meant to be. So we had a family that accommodated us for 2 weeks while they figured out our living arrangements. Somebody who didn't know us, somebody who just heard that there was a family from Kenya. And she said, "I've been on a mission to Kenya, and I'm happy to open my doors to them." And in those 2 weeks, They helped us figure out formula for my daughter. She had lost weight because the formula I got just wasn't working. They helped us figure out what was the correct diaper size. Because the diaper size that I was using in Kenya was not the same number here. And I kept wondering, so why do we keep having accidents? Wrong diaper size. And then there's the people who volunteered to take us to appointments and to take us to places that we were supposed to be. I remember when the agency was looking for an apartment for us, they would take us to the places and say, do you like this? I mean, the situation has changed today. And it's almost like you're taking this, because if you don't know how long you'll have to wait. And I remember around Christmas time, all the people who came forward and gave us gifts and gave us their time and showed us Walmart and Winco. And one family actually gave us a car. It was a stick shift. I had driven a stick shift, so I was fine with it. I remember Deborah's father struggled with it. Deborah is my daughter. But I remember calling my mom and telling her, you know, Mom, I think God lives here. He visits the rest of you as and when you need him, but this is where he lives. Such was the welcome and the feeling of home that we experienced. And I know that I'm not just speaking for myself. I know that I'm speaking on behalf of some of the other former refugees who are here with me, of what a welcoming community this is and continues to be. I chuckle when I now think that the Californians need to go back home. And yet, isn't that a testimony of who we are and why we are called the Treasure Valley and why this is the gem state? It truly is something that it's part of our DNA. It reminds me of a verse, and I'll just look it up because I don't have it memorized. Isaiah 32:18 says, my people will live in peaceful dwelling places, in secure homes, in undisturbed places of rest. And when you've run away as a refugee, when you've been in a refugee camp for so many years, some even for decades, what you're longing for is a place to call home, is a place where you know it's going to be a peaceful dwelling. It's going to be a place of undisturbed peace. Now, we come here with little ones, like you saw. We come here and have little ones. And the landscape can change because all of a sudden they're speaking American. And they're talking about mac and cheese. And sometimes they can't even say mac and cheese. And I remember my daughter calling them cronima cheese. And she would have a fit because she wanted cronima cheese. And I'd say, you have to wait until tomorrow when I can call the daycare and find out what is cronima cheese. And even after the daycare told me, oh, she means mac and cheese, I still wanted to know what is mac and cheese. And my poor child, because I had no idea what mac and cheese were, I did not grow up with mac and cheese, had to live with the little cups that you would put the powdered cheese and water and pop in the microwave for a minute and a half. That was her experience of growing up with mac and cheese. However, I am so grateful there was the daycare and the daycare director and the teachers who would tell me, your daughter really loves pig in a blanket. She likes what? But the fact that they never made me feel like, you're so weird, how can you not know pig in a blanket? How come you've never been fishing? How come you've never gone hunting? All the things that make us who we are here, nobody has ever made me feel like you're weird for not knowing them. Instead, they've said, let me show you how it's done. When we came here, so the first Thanksgiving was when we were trying to flee New Hampshire. And somebody brought a box with a frozen turkey, potatoes, cranberry sauce, and all the other fixings. And I thought, what big chickens they have. And instructions on how to thaw it out, so many pounds per hour. And I'm thinking, what pounds are we talking about? I grew up with kilograms. So I just decided it really does look like a chicken. And I marinated it with the spices that I had from Kenya and popped them in the oven. And soon there was smoke. And when my sister opened up the door, I had a sister in Maryland at the time. She propped the door open, the front door, because the smoke was so much. And we didn't know that it had the sensors that ring at the fire station without anybody dialing a number. Oh gosh, it was a mess. I think that's actually the reason why we fled New Hampshire, but because we had, we saw the fire trucks and the police cars and the ambulance, and we wondered why they're here until they pounded on our door. And I just thought, I cannot live in this community. But the truth is that when we came here, there were people who said, let's introduce you to the police so that you can understand the police in this community. And I know that that has not been your experience in the community that you came from, but this is different. And what they have allowed us to do over the years is to integrate. I don't have to lose the essence of who I am in order to belong here. I can bring my chapatis and my samosas and try and get used to pumpkin pie. And the turkey. I do enjoy the turkey now. It tastes less salty than when I started. But as you can see, we have been invited to make this home, and to make it home just the way home feels like to us. And the truth is, home is where your heart is. And this has become a place where our hearts have grown and have developed roots. Soon after we landed here, my relationship with my then husband did not work out, and he left. And I remember feeling devastated and thinking, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? But I'll never forget the words of one man who said, Salome, before you came here, God knew you were going to come here. So he sent us ahead of you, so that when you got here, you wouldn't be alone. You wouldn't have to struggle to try and figure life out on your own. And if I were to number the people and the families who have surrounded us, we'd be here probably until tomorrow. The ones who just sat with us, the ones who came and enjoyed cups of tea, Kenyan tea, the ones who said, let me help you figure out how to enroll your children in school and to get the bus. The ones who said, there is something better than that. And here's how you get to it. The one who said, I know you like Walmart. It's probably your first store, but let me introduce you to Albertsons and to Fred Meyer and to everything else in between. And now when I look back, I realize we who are new Americans, actually not so new Americans now. I mean, after 18 years, the word new doesn't apply, does it? But now we're able to tell others who are coming after us that God knew you were going to come here, and he sent me ahead of you, so that when you come here and you experience the challenges that life brings, I'm already here for you. So I'm grateful to the Treasure Valley. I'm grateful to Boise. I'm grateful to this amazing congregation. I'm looking out because I thought, okay, I'm only going to know 3 people because those are the ones I've been working with. And I'm like, Oh, I know Roger. We met in a Zoom meeting not too long ago, this week. And I'm thinking, I know Sylvia. I saw her somewhere. Isn't it amazing that I cannot hide in Boise anymore? And yet it's an amazing testimony of what we're able to do as a community, of how we're able to extend our hands, our hearts, that which God has put in here. So that before I knew it, I was a neighbor. I am a neighbor, and I'll continue to be a neighbor. My daughter, who I mentioned earlier, makes me chuckle because she says, Mom, do you realize I cannot hide anywhere? And I'm like, why would you want to hide? And she's like, no, everybody says, you're Salome's daughter, aren't you? And I realized it's kind of like how it used to be growing up in Kenya, because people would be like, I know your mother. She's going to know what you've been up to. And so this community is doing that to my daughter, even though she doesn't realize it's an African thing that has. So again, very, very grateful for the invitation, for the welcome. And it's a welcome that doesn't end. In Kiswahili, we have a saying that says that you're a guest the first day, and the second day will give you the tools that you need to go work on the garden. Boise has been that to us. You've allowed us to be guests, and you've allowed us to be visitors, and you have equipped us with the tools that it takes to dig this garden and to live lives that are productive in ways that resonate with you and with us and to the glory of God. So thank you. Back to you. So I know there's probably people who are thinking, so she's walking with a cane, and her story didn't have anything to do with a cane. So I had my left knee replaced in December, and that is why. And I had the right one replaced in August. So I feel like I have an infant and a baby all at the same time. And thank you for your accommodation.
Thank you for sharing your story, your journey, and for being someone who was here before me to welcome. I think many of us maybe have not come quite as far as Kenya, but have come from other places, and so your story really spoke to me as well in that way. So thank you. I'm going to invite us all now into a time for brief meditation. This is adapted from a prayer by Susan Ensweiler. You can settle yourselves into your chairs or wherever you are at home. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you. I'd like you to imagine yourself on a wide, flowing river in a small boat. You are one little speck of being in a wide expanse of water. You're bordered by rocky cliffs, towering trees, and bright blue skies. Ahead of you are boulders and whitewater rapids, but also calm pools and sandbars for picnics. Around you are other little specks of being, each one a person isolated in their own small boat, just like you. But together, you can see that all of you form a flotilla, and you will journey down the river together, guiding each other around the boulders, rescuing each other out of the white water, enjoying the calm of the still pools and picnics on the sandbars. May your journey through life be the same. Surrounded by friends and loved ones who will sustain you through the hard times and rejoice with you in the good times until you reach the shore. Blessed be. And as you are ready, you may open your eyes, and we will receive again the gift of song from our choir.
Just want to say one last big thank you to our guest choirs. Thank you so much for blessing us with your music this morning. Our own choir, this last piece also in English and Spanish. Here are the parts we'll be singing in Spanish. Oye is a phrase that means, hey, listen up, pay attention. And here's what we need to pay attention to. All alone, they are crying in silence and in darkness, hoping and dreaming, hopeful for the opportunity. Please listen. They are calling to you. Listen to them. Look at them. Listen to what they are trying to say. They are searching to find their way. Small voices calling to you. Please listen. They are calling to you.
a morning we have had together, friends. Can I get an amen? We need one today. I heard some amens out there, and I'm just delighted that we're getting practiced at this thing. Because, you know, sometimes you just have to express the thing that is built up inside of you. Thank you for your music and for your gift and for your presence among us. Salome, thank you. You know, you happen to be one of those people when every time I feel like the world is terrible and awful and I don't want to get out of bed and I don't want to do anything, and then Salome walks in to the room, or my presence, or I hear about her, you bring this light and this warmth and this beauty about you that reminds us of our connection and reminds us that the little tiny things that we do matter, like mac and cheese and sizes of diapers and all the ways in which we reach out to one another and the gifts that we all bring to create community that is vibrant and beautiful and thriving together. So thank you, amen. I'll invite you to rise as you are able and put your hands over your heart for our closing blessing. May you go forth to plant seeds in the ground and dreams in the sky, knowing that those seeds of community will become strong trees whose limbs will welcome and support all those who come to climb and rest upon them, until the dreams that are reached are not just your own, but theirs as well. Blessed are we all. Go in peace.
Okay.